you could probably include me in the bucket that I think Bubba was referring to, which is overly cautious about opening up society. I was one of the we came here and I was saying, hey, everybody's got to stay home. That was the middle of March, right? I'm like, I started seeing, I'm like, we have no choice but to stay home. Cancel the NCAA tournament. Cancel these tennis events. Everybody's like, what are we doing playing sports right now? We got to figure this thing out. I mean, you could call me an alarmist. I see what people call me in the chat room sometimes. And that, when we're not here, I'm wearing a mask. When I go out, to go get groceries or whatever, mask up, glove up, come home, try and practice as much social distancing as possible. And I was talking about some guy who was in the supermarket without a mask making jokes. And I'm like, hey, bro.
Yeah, right.
This is not 2-drink minimum. This is like COVID-19 minimum. All right.
Yeah.
So I think you could include me in that class of let's close things down and be sure before we open up. I am not rooting at all, and I don't know a single person rooting against NASCAR right now. That kind of took me aback when he's saying that there are people out there hoping they fail. That could be one of those us against the world mentality that you do need, I guess, to compete. That so many people compete. Everyone wants to take this away from us, and you hear that about players before they go into a big game or whatever. So I can maybe understand that. Do you know anybody that's out there hoping, man, I hope NASCAR just totally flops. I hope this is so successful and that the point of care testing that they have in Darlington this week will be the model that every other sports league can follow. Because at some
100%.
point, we're hoping all sports come back when it is safe, when you can figure things out for your entire staff and crew, which, as you could hear, there's quite a bit of logistics, as we all know, for any race, let alone a NASCAR race in Darlington. So I'm hoping they crush it, and I hope that baseball and the NFL's calling up NASCAR. How'd you do it? What'd you do? Yeah. How'd you quarantine everybody?
Yeah, absolutely.
How'd you keep everybody out? What did you do? Walk us through the process so we can emulate it, and that they have expanded the schedule into June. Great. Go for it.
Same thing with UFC.
Be the gold standard.
I hope that we find out nobody has tested positive in a week or so from the UFC event that just took place. We don't want these things to fail. We want sports back.
But I want to know everyone's safe. And in that regard, by watching sports to be back and us feeling normal and that they're being safe, I can lose myself in the competition knowing that everybody is safe doing it. No one's going to wind up on a friggin' ventilator. And that, I'll be honest, as I always am sitting here, it helps me figure out how I'm going to go about my life with my wife and children and how you can with your life and how we can all open up. I'm rooting for NASCAR. Go. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.